Hi, I'm Tim. This is the fourth in the series of lessons that will help you learn how to play rock guitar. In this lesson, you'll learn some ways to create melody lines on the guitar using two different scales. Then you'll learn to use two-note chords to create harmonized melody lines and riffs. Start by making sure your guitar is in tune using the tuner built into GarageBand. Before you learn about scales, it's helpful to review how musicians talk about the relationship between notes. The distance between two notes is called an interval. The interval between two notes that are right next to each other on the same string is called a half step. The interval between two notes on the same string that are 2 frets apart is called a whole step. The interval between two notes that are 3 frets or 3 half steps apart is called a minor third. Minor thirds define the sound of a minor chord. For instance, here's an A minor chord. Here's the root of the chord, A, and the note up a minor third. The interval between two notes that are 4 frets or 4 half steps apart is called a major third. Like minor thirds, major thirds define the sound of a major chord. Here's an A major chord. And here's the root A, and the note up a major third. We'll be using the names half step, whole step, minor third, and major third throughout this lesson. So keep in mind that a half step interval is 1 fret, a whole step interval is 2 frets, a minor third interval is 3 frets, and a major third interval is 4 frets. The lessons in the Blues Guitar series and in the Basic Guitar series covered a scale called the minor pentatonic. While the minor pentatonic scale is one of the most commonly used scales for rock guitar solos and riffs, there are some other scales often used to create melody lines. Most people are very familiar with the major scale. It sounds like this. The 7 notes of a major scale are always separated by the same sequence of intervals. For instance, the G major scale, starting with the root G on the open 3rd string, goes root, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Play the G major scale on the 3rd string. G, up a whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step to the octave G. You can also play the major scale by keeping your hand in one place and playing the notes across multiple strings, like this. To play the G major scale like this, start with your hand in place with your 2nd finger over the root G at the 3rd fret of the 6th string. Position the rest of your fingers so your 1st finger is over the 2nd fret, your 3rd finger is over the 4th fret, and your 4th finger is over the 5th fret. Now play on the 6th string. 2nd finger, 4th finger, across to the 5th string, 1st finger, 2nd finger, 4th finger, across to the 4th string, 1st finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger, which is the octave root, then over to the 3rd string, 1st finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger, across to the 2nd string, 2nd finger, 4th finger, across to the 1st string, 1st finger, and 2nd finger at the double octave root again. This fingering pattern can be moved up and down the neck of the guitar to play a major scale in different keys. The root that gives the scale its name will always be the note under your 2nd finger on the 6th string. You can use what you learned about the note names on the 6th string in Rock Guitar Lesson 1 to help you figure out where the different major scales are on the guitar neck. Try playing a C major scale starting with the root on the 6th string. First, find the C. E, F, G, A, B, C here on the 8th fret. Place your hand with your second finger on the root C. Start on the 6th string. 2nd, 4th, 1st, 2nd, 4th, 1st, 3rd, 4th, 1st, 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 4th, 1st, 2nd. To make it easier to talk about the notes of a scale, musicians often give each note a number, like this. The root is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to 1. Play the C major scale again, and I'll call out the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. You can use major scales to create melodies over major chords. Just pay attention to the root note of the chord, then find its corresponding major scale. When you use these notes for melodies, some notes may sound better to you than others, so experiment and find out what you like. Just as the major scale works well for creating melodies over major chords, the minor scale works well over minor chords. The minor scale has a lot in common with the minor pentatonic scale that's covered in the basic guitar and blues guitar lessons. You can use the minor pentatonic scale with minor chords and all the notes will sound good. The minor scale adds 2 notes to that scale to give you a few more options. Here's what the G minor pentatonic scale sounds like. And here's what the G minor scale sounds like. Start by playing the G minor scale on the 3rd string. I'll use intervals to describe the notes. The root is G. Up a whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step to G again. You can also play the minor scale across the strings like this. Start with your first finger on the root at the 3rd fret, your second finger over the 4th fret, your third finger over the 5th fret, and your 4th over the 6th fret. The pattern goes first finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger, across to the 5th string, 1st, 3rd, 4th, across to the 4th string, 1st, 3rd, which is the octave root again, and continuing up on the 3rd string, shift your hand down 1 fret to play your first finger at the 2nd fret, second finger at the 3rd fret, and your 4th finger at the 5th fret. Then shift back to your original hand position on the 2nd string and play first finger, 2nd, 4th, and finish on the double octave root with your first finger on the 1st string. Like the major scale, you can use numbers to describe the notes of the minor scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Just like the major scale fingering pattern, you can move this minor scale fingering pattern up and down the guitar neck to play different minor scales starting on various 6th-string roots. Knowing this scale, along with the minor pentatonic and major scales, will give you some notes that sound good when you're creating guitar melodies over major and minor chords. Adding a second note to a melody creates a harmony. You can play a melody line and harmony line together using 2-note chords. We'll focus on creating harmonies using a note that's either a major third or a minor third above the melody. You can play a major third 2-note chord on the 1st and 2nd strings using your 3rd finger on the 2nd string and then playing up a major third with your second finger on the first string. Play an E major two-note chord with your third finger on the E at the 5th fret of the second string, and your second finger a major third above on the 4th fret of the first string. Now move that shape up to the 10th fret to play an A major two-note chord. Then up to the 12th fret to play a B major two-note chord. Play those chords together like this. Play it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can use the same shape to play major third two-note chords with roots on the 6th string, 5th string, and 4th string. Play the same riff transposed down an octave, starting on the 7th fret of the 5th string for the E major, across to the 7th fret of the 4th string for the A major, then up 2 frets to the 9th fret of the 4th string for the B major. Play it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can play a two-note minor chord with your third finger on the second string and your first finger on the first string, like this. Use that shape to play an F-sharp minor with your third finger on the 7th fret of the second string. Up 2 frets to a G-sharp minor with your third finger on the 9th fret. Up to C-sharp minor at the 14th fret. Then up 2 frets to a D-sharp minor at the 16th fret. Play those two-note chords like this. Give that a try. 1, 2, 3, 4. F-sharp minor, G-sharp minor, C-sharp minor, D-sharp minor. Just like the major shape, the same minor shape works on the 6th, 5th, and 4th strings. Play the same riff an octave down, starting on the 9th fret of the 5th string, up 2 frets to the 11th fret, across to the 11th fret of the 4th string, then 2 frets up to the 13th fret. Play that with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Earlier in this lesson, you learned how to create major and minor scales using whole steps and half steps, then how to number the scale degrees from 1 to 7. Remember that the major scale had the intervals whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Using those numbers and intervals, play an E major scale on the 2nd string using your third finger starting on the 5th fret for the root. E. Whole step up to the 2nd, whole step to the 3rd, half step to the 4th, whole step to the 5th, whole step to the 6th, whole step to the 7th, half step to the octave root. You can harmonize a major scale with a type of harmony called diatonic third. Diatonic means that the harmony will only use notes from the same scale as the melody. The two-note chords that correspond to the scale degrees are root, major, second, minor, third, minor, fourth, major, fifth, major, sixth, minor, seventh, minor, octave, major. Play up the E major scale on the second string using these major and minor two-note chords to provide a diatonic harmony to the scale. Root, major, whole step up, minor, whole step up, minor, half step up, major, whole step up, major, whole step up, minor, whole step up, minor, half step up to the root for major. Try that again. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor, major. Now try the same thing with the minor scale. The intervals for the scale are root, whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. This time start on D at the third fret of the second string, playing the notes with your third finger. Root, whole step up to the second, half step to the third, whole step up to the fourth, whole step up to the fifth, half step to the sixth, whole step up to the seventh, and whole step up to the octave. Applying diatonic harmony in thirds, the two-note chords that correspond to the notes of the minor scale are root, minor, second, minor, third, major, fourth, minor, fifth, minor, sixth, major, seventh, major, octave, minor. Try it with me. Minor, minor, major, minor, minor, major, major, minor. So far we've been playing these major and minor two-note chords based on all of the strings except the third string. Guitars are tuned in a way that requires a different shape for two-note chords when you build them on the third string. The major two-note chord built on the third string has notes on the same fret like this. The minor two-note chord built on the third string has the same shape as major thirds on the rest of the guitar, with the higher note being one string over and one fret down from the root note like this. Knowing how to play two-note chords gives you another option for creating guitar parts that share some aspects of chords and single note riffs. It may take you a while to remember all of the elements of the scales and intervals, so take your time and use the exercises in the practice chapter of this lesson. The song in the play chapter of this lesson uses some melodies and two-note chords. In the verse, you'll play the melody and the harmony with major and minor thirds. It goes like this. Start with your third finger on the A at the 10th fret of the second string, and play a two-note minor chord. Then move down a whole step and play a major chord. Down another whole step for another major chord. Then down a half step for another major chord. Play that part using a downstroke eighth note pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. The chorus melody uses some notes of the D major scale. The melody starts on the F sharp with your third finger at the 11th fret of the third string. Down a whole step to the E with your first finger. Up to the A with your fourth finger at the 14th fret. Down to the D at the 7th fret with your first finger. Then up a whole step to the E with your third finger at the 9th fret. You can add a D drone with the open 4th string to the chorus melody like this. For this part, you strum the 4th and 3rd strings together, even though the melody is only on the 3rd string. Play that part using downstrokes across both strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can use these parts to play along with the band in the play chapter of this lesson. The song is played in a modern indie rock style using sharp, crunchy guitar tones and minimal effects. Have fun. Play an A major scale up and down starting with your second finger on the 5th fret of the 6th string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play an A minor scale up and down, starting with your first finger on the 5th fret of the 6th string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Use two-note chords to play a harmonized E major scale starting on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Use two-note chords to play a harmonized D minor scale starting on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. 1, 2, 3, 4.